Have you ever wondered if teenagers in courtrooms are given life sentences? What might be the reason for teenagers to be in court? Let's see about 5 teenagers' reactions to life sentences. Number 1. TJ Lane. The first on our list is TJ Lane, who was convicted of killing 3 of his schoolfellows without any conscience. On the 27th of February 2012, 6 people were shot at Chardon High School in Chardon, Ohio, resulting in the death of 3. The suspect was assumed to be 17-year-old TJ Lane, the former Chardon High School student. He was arrested by police from his parked car near the school and was charged with 3 counts of aggravated murder, 2 counts of aggravated attempted murder, and a count of criminal assault. Later that month, Lane was made to charge by considering him an adult and was given 3 years of a life sentence without the possibility of parole. Lane entered the room, and as you can see, he sat down and began to unbutton his shirt without hearing a word from his lawyer. As he unbuttoned, we see his shirt is written as Killer, revealing his vigorous personality. We can conclude that Lane is the ultimate psycho by hearing his final statement towards the family's victims. Now, let's see what the victims' families wanted to say. One said that she hated him for firing a bullet at her son, which paralyzed him. We can see Lane laughing and smirking when she says this, confirming his sickness. She concluded that she could never hear from his brother again, and Lane didn't deserve to breathe the air she was breathing. Even though Lane was imprisoned, he escaped a year after and was sentenced for climbing the fence along with his inmate. Soon after immense effort, the police were able to track him down again. Why did he commit such a shocking crime? What made him so stony-hearted towards his own peers? Anyway, TJ Lane's actions were horrific and had extreme impacts on the families of the victims. Their lives will never be the same again, and they will always take the pain and trauma of losing their loved ones. Lane will spend the rest of his life behind bars, paying for his crimes. Let's hope he will ever truly understand the seriousness of his actions or feel any guilt for what he has done. Number 2. Matthew Borges. Matthew Borges was found guilty and charged with murder in the first degree. He was an 18-year-old teenager accused of beheading Lee Valoria Polino in December 2016. Lee was a fellow student at Lawrence High School, and the police informed that Matthew and Lee were smoking marijuana in November 2016, the last time Lee was found alive. A dog walker found Lee's body 2 weeks later on the banks of the Merrimack River, and the police reported that as he approached her, the details were grim, and on getting closer, he saw her sniffing at a particular area. When the police had a second look by pulling the body back, they guessed whether it was a dead body or not because the body was missing some limbs. At first, Matthew was not suspected, but soon everything shifted in his direction. Prosecutor Jay Gabitos said in his closing arguments that much evidence supports Matthew to be the convict. He stabbed Lee 16 times before cutting her head off, so nobody could identify the body. Matthew was charged with first-degree murder based on theories of deliberate premeditation, extreme atrocity, and bore, showing no mercy on seeing Matthew's emotions. He is then sentenced to his entire life behind bars and had a possibility of parole only after 25 years in jail. Lee's family and friends were impacted by losing a young life with so much potential. Matthew's trial received widespread media attention and many people debated his punishment, with some calling for the death penalty. In the end, Matthew's sentence to life in prison without the chance of parole was seen by many as the right punishment for such an evil crime. Lee's memory will forever be remembered by those who knew her, and her tragic death reminds us of the importance of being careful in our daily lives. What do you think about it? Number 3. Philip Chisholm. In November 2013, a teenager named Philip Chisholm was taken to court for doing an unusual act. He was in the 9th grade while committing murder and was conscious of his actions. On that particular day in 2013, Chisholm had been asked to stay back at school by Colleen Ritzer, who was well known for assisting her students. She didn't have any idea what was going to happen on that particular day. Philip followed Colleen into a restroom, robbed her, abused her, and murdered her, and then stuffed her corpse into a garbage bin behind the school. Using Colleen's credit card, Philip bought a movie ticket, and the next day when the police found him, they were surprised to have Colleen's blood on his hands. Colleen's family told the court that Philip should be given the maximum life behind bars for this brutal action and not be allowed to destroy another family's life. Philip was charged with murder, aggravated rape, and armed robbery and was tried as an adult. Finally, in February 2016, Philip was given a life sentence where he should spend at least 40 years behind bars, and based on the report, instead of parole after 25 years, Philip was given a mandatory life sentence. Have you ever encountered a person like Philip in your life? Share in the comments. Number 4. Jennifer Mee. Jennifer Mee was 19 years old when she was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. But this was not the first time she gained fame. When she was 15 years old, she got international attention when she developed a case of uncontrollable hiccups, and hence was known as the Hiccup Girl. Soon, the name was out the media when she had her hiccups cured, until she was arrested for setting up a robbery with victims she had met online, and even recruited her boyfriend Lamont Noon and other friend Lauren Raffer to help rob the victims. Mee then met a 22-year-old man online, invited him to a vacant home, and lured him while her friends shot him dead. They got $50 from the robbery. Mee, Rayford and Newton were all living together and were arrested within hours of the crime. When she was first arrested, Mee had a phone call with her mother where she revealed her involvement in the crime and then was charged with first-degree murder and had to spend her life in prison without parole. Her roommates were also charged with first-degree murder and were sentenced to life in prison. Jennifer's story is tragic, marked by fame at a young age and a descent into crime. Despite her notoriety as the Hiccup Girl, she ultimately made choices that led her to a life behind bars. Her case highlights the dangers of online relationships and the importance of seeking help for mental health issues. It is a cautionary tale for those who seek fame or attention and a reminder that our actions have consequences. The case also raises questions about the justice system and whether life imprisonment without parole is appropriate for a 19-year-old. Number 5. Fuller Kaylee Jugger. Kaylee was 15 years old when she secretly planned a family trip, but the trip was not going to happen as Kaylee broke up with her boyfriend weeks ago and was listening to music in her room. Most couples try to win back their partner's attention in many ways, but Fuller had a very different idea. He always blames Kaylee for his woes after being expelled from the school and banned from the football team. On the 9th of March 2019, he came to Kaylee's house with a gun. He easily got into her room as he was a regular guest at her house. He entered Kaylee's room and opened fire on her 5 times. After hearing the noise, her mother came, and Fuller shot her twice and was surprisingly saved by running away. Soon after the incident, Fuller was arrested and charged with attempted murder, and burglary. He maintained that he was innocent during the trial, even though the police found the gun he gave a relative to dispose of matched the one used in the crime, even as Kaylee's mother, who saw him, testified, "I heard a shot, I stopped in my doorway, looked at him and said, 'Oh my God, marks.' I said, 'Please, you don't have to do this.' He looked at me and he said, 'Yes, I do.'" When Fuller was allowed to address the court, he maintained that he was innocent and blamed the media for painting him black. He showed no flicker of guilt as the judge announced his life imprisonment sentence without the possibility of parole. With this, we're coming to the end of our video. If you want more content like this, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. Also, share your valuable feedback in the comments. Have a nice day.